There are places soldiers go and never come back. Not because they died, but because they saw something the world should never know. What if I told you? An entire village vanished, without a trace. No bomb, no blood, just silence and screaming walls. You're not watching a story. You're stepping into a classified mission, buried under war, and sealed in concrete by people who were never seen again. A recon team entered a forgotten bunker. Only static came out. And what they woke up down there wasn't human. Fire welcome to Athex's Tales. And tonight, you're hearing what no soldier lived long enough to confess. My name is Aaron. I was deployed in northern Israel, along the Lebanon border, just days before everything descended into chaos. At first, it felt like another routine recon mission. 5 soldiers. A dead silent village. Simple in theory. But this wasn't war. This was something ancient. I didn't know it at the time, but my decision to volunteer that night would rip apart everything I knew about reality. And leave me with a question that still haunts me. What did we awaken down there? I remember the night was humid but quiet, unnaturally quiet. The kind of silence that doesn't happen in real life. No insects, no distant gunfire, no dogs barking. Just a dead sky over a village that looked like it had been wiped off the earth, not by war, but by rot. The ruins looked like they had melted. Buildings sagged. Streetlights hung limp, as if gravity had increased in that one spot alone. Our unit, Yaron, Eli, Dan, Amir, and me, moved in at 2:07 a.m. Night vision on. Safety off. We weren't green. We'd done recon dozens of times before. But within 5 minutes of being there, even the veterans were off. Like something was breathing just behind us, no matter where we stood. And then the body. He was just lying there. A civilian, probably mid-40s, slumped near a crumbled water tank. No wounds. No shrapnel. No trauma. Just dead. And yet his skin, it had something crawling under it. Thick, black veins that throbbed faintly like they were still alive. Yaron was the first to notice the eyes. They're gone. He meant it literally. No eyeballs. Just sockets filled with what looked like cracked, black glass. Dan muttered, "Chemical weapons?" But no one answered, because none of us believed it. Still, we pressed forward. Our objective was a communications bunker roughly 2 clicks outside the village limits. Last known location of an Israeli radio squad. But the deeper into the outskirts we pushed, the more our gear began acting strange. Our GPS spun. Our watches ticked backward. Eli swore he heard his mother whispering his name through the static in his earpiece. We joked, tried to laugh it off. But nobody was smiling. When we finally reached the bunker, it was nothing like the intel map. It wasn't nestled into a hillside anymore. The earth around it had swallowed it, like it had been dragged deeper into the dirt. The steel door was twisted and bent outwards. Something had come out, not in. I don't remember volunteering to go in first, but I went. The second I stepped inside, I felt like I'd crossed into another dimension. The air didn't move. It was thick, like breathing through wet concrete. The temperature dropped by at least 10 degrees, but I could feel sweat trickle down my spine. My boots stuck slightly to the floor with every step, like the place was bleeding oil. The hallways were narrow, curved strangely, never quite straight. Like they had moved over time, or weren't built by anyone human. We started marking our path with chalk. 10 meters, then 20, then 30. Then came the symbols. Every wall had them, scratched deep into concrete with something sharp and angry. Symbols I can't even describe because my mind blurs when I try. Circles inside circles. Teeth surrounding an eye. Symbols that seemed to shift if you stared too long. Eli brushed one with his glove, and his flashlight exploded. Not short-circuited, burst, like something inside was screaming to get out. And then we heard it. The whisper. At first we thought it was the pipes. Then the wind. But we were underground, sealed off. The sound wasn't coming through the air. It was inside our heads. A whisper, not in a language we knew. But somehow we still understood it. One must stay. The voice echoed like it came from the center of the earth. Every time it repeated, it got louder, clearer, closer. Eli broke. He started hyperventilating, gripping his chest. "I want out, I want the fuck out," he screamed. Yaron tried to grab him, but Eli was already running. Down a different corridor. Into the dark. We chased. For 30 minutes. Maybe longer. But it was no use. He was gone. No footprints. No echo. No Eli. The hallways were wrong now. Longer. Twisting in ways that didn't make sense. At one point, we returned to the same control room twice, through different hallways. The place was a maze, but it was changing. Alive. Then we found the radio. It looked decades old. Covered in dust. Unplugged. Still humming. My fingers hovered over the dial. Then the scream. Groaning. Like a beast dragging itself awake from under miles of stone. The entire bunker shuddered. My teeth rattled. My flashlight flickered. And then, the lights along the ceiling began to pulse. Once, twice, 3 times. Then total blackness. I don't know how long we stood frozen in that void. But when the emergency lights buzzed back on, the entrance was sealed. A wall. Solid. Smooth. No door. And on it, freshly etched, bleeding. "One must stay." I screamed. Dan started crying. Amir collapsed. But Yaron just stared. And then he said something I'll never forget. He looked at me and said, "It's not asking. It's choosing." That's when I realized. We were already down one. But the bunker didn't just want Eli. It wanted another. It wanted more. The moment we realized the door was gone, replaced by freshly sealed concrete, a cold dread spread through my chest like venom. My breath caught in my throat. I turned to Yaron. His face was blank. Dan dropped to his knees, repeating some prayer under his breath. Tomer, who had barely spoken the whole mission, whispered, "This isn't war. This is hell." I slammed my fists against the wall. Nothing. No echo. It was like the stone-absorbed sound. The bloody message was still fresh, like it had just been etched. One must stay. My heartbeat pounded like a drum in my ears. I took a step back. I didn't know where to go. None of us did. Yaron finally broke the silence. "We need to move. Find another way out. Panicking won't help." He was right. But something about the way the bunker shifted, the way our chalk marks vanished, hallways changed. It felt alive. Worse, it felt hungry. We split into a tighter formation and pushed deeper. Our lights were dimmer now, batteries draining far too fast. The air tasted metallic. With every step, we felt watched, not like a sniper or a drone, but like the walls had eyes. You turn a corner and see nothing, but you felt it. Breathing near you. Listening. Suddenly, Dan shouted, "There's light up ahead." We ran toward it, flashlights off to stay unnoticed. But when we arrived, it wasn't sunlight. It was a room. Massive. A dome carved beneath the earth. In its center, a pit. A perfect circle of pitch-black nothing. Around its handles. Thousands of them, lining the walls and floor, flickering though there was no wind. The pit was whispering. Low, steady, ancient. Tomer walked closer. What is this?" The whispers got louder. Clear. "One must stay, one must stay, one must stay." My skin crawled. The whisper wasn't just in the room anymore. It was inside us. In our heads. Under our skin. And then, without warning, Tomer stepped toward the pit. "No!" I shouted, grabbing his arm, but it was like he couldn't hear me. He was in some kind of trance. His pupils were dilated. Lips moving but no sound. Yaron helped pull him back. It took all 3 of us. His body was ice cold. When he finally came to, he gasped like he'd just escaped drowning. I saw something inside, something massive, chained, and still alive. Dan shook his head. "This place is cursed." I couldn't argue. The air around the pit made my ears ring. Every breath I took felt wrong, like the oxygen itself was tainted. We turned away and headed down a side corridor. That's when the lights flickered again and stayed off. Darkness. Thick, solid. Lights. Now. Yaron barked. We scrambled to click them back on. Mine flickered. But then we heard it. Footsteps. But not from us. From ahead. Slow. Heavy. Echoing. Something was coming. I raised my rifle. The others followed. We waited. The steps got louder. Closer. Then they stopped. Yaron stepped forward. Identify yourself. Silence. He raised his rifle, fired a warning shot. Nothing. Just as we started to lower our guard, something ran at us. Inhumanly fast. It blurred past our vision. I turned, gun up, scanning. What the hell was that? It didn't attack. It didn't speak. It just ran. Past us. Around us. Over and over. Like it was toying with us. Then the scream started. Not ours. Eli's. We froze. His scream echoed down the tunnel. Help me! He was alive? We ran. Chased the sound. Turned corner after corner. But the voice, Eli's voice, kept moving. Please. It's in the walls. Yaron was breathing hard. It's not him. That's not Eli. How do you know? I shouted. He stopped. Because I saw him when he ran. The shape. It had Eli's face. But its body wasn't human. A cold silence followed. Then Dan turned and whispered, "Guys." We looked. He was pointing down the hall. Carved into the stone was another phrase. He stayed. You didn't. And under it, a bloody handprint. Fresh. Tomer stepped closer, inspecting it. There's a trail. Blood drops. Leading down another passage. We followed. Every part of my mind screamed not to, but we couldn't stop. Not now. We arrived at a room that looked like a chapel, but not the holy kind. Statues of twisted figures. Eyes where mouths should be. Teeth where hands should be. On the altar, another radio. And beside it, the book. Bound in leather. Torn. Stained. I opened it. And said, "Mims." Dozens. Maybe hundreds. And beside each name, a date. And the word, taken. Yaron scanned the pages. Then stopped. Guys, here? He pointed to a name. Eli Cohen, taken. And under it, another. Dan Mayer, scheduled. Tonight. Dan stumbled back. This is bullshit. This is some sick prank. No one's pranking us here, I muttered. Then, the radio crackled. WSSSSAKK? A voice. One must stay. One must feed. I dropped the book. Then the floor shook. A loud boom echoed from the pit behind us. It was awake. We ran. No plan. Just instincts. The halls were bleeding. I mean that literally red liquid running down the walls. The lights now glowed purple. Shapes slithered past us in the shadows, too fast to see, too real to ignore. Dan screamed. We turned. He was gone. The floor beneath him had opened. Dan! Yaron shouted, crawling to where he stood. But it was just stone again. Perfect. No cracks. No sign. I pulled him up. We can't go back. Tomer whispered, "We're next." We found a stairwell. A twisted, rusted spiral that went down. We had no other path, so we followed it. Deeper. Deeper. My flashlight buzzed. Something dripped from above, black sludge. It burned my arm where it landed. We kept going. At the bottom, another door. This one was new. Steel. Marked with Hebrew letters I didn't understand. We pushed it open. Inside was a room. Right. Surgical. Like a lab. Files. Monitors. And a single chair in the middle. Strapped to it. Alive. Barely. Eyes open. Mouth sewn shut. Tubes running into his chest. He looked at us. Pleading. Tomer stepped forward. What the hell? A screen flickered to life. A man appeared. Lab coat. Bolt. Smiling. Welcome. You've come far. That means you're the right ones. What is this? Yaron demanded. The man continued, ignoring him. The bunker is old. Older than anything you know. A seal. A cage. Every few years, someone must feed it. Someone must stay. That's the balance. My mouth was dry. What happens if no one stays? The man smiled wider. Then it leaves. And the feed ended. A door behind us slammed shut. The man in the chair started to convulse. Alarms blared. His heart stopped. The lights exploded. And then, the walls groaned. It was coming. Yaron grabbed a chair and smashed the wall panel. A door cracked open. We fled. I don't remember how long we ran. Minutes? Hours? The bunker twisted, caved, screamed, and then, we saw it. Real light. We burst out of a crevice in the hillside. Fell to the dirt, gasping. Only Tomer, Yaron, and I made it. The others were gone. Behind us, the bunker collapsed. Dust rose. And silence returned. But I swear, just before it caved in, I heard a whisper on the wind. Next time, none of you leave. We never spoke about what happened under that bunker. The army debriefed us the moment we were found. We lied. Told them the village had collapsed in a landslide. That Dan and Eli got lost in the rubble. That the bunker was already gone when we arrived. They believed us. Or pretended to. Maybe it was easier for everyone. Yaron, Tomer, and I were flown back to base. No medals. No questions. Just silence. And orders to rest. Whatever that meant. But I didn't rest. Not after what I saw. What I heard. What I felt. 3 days after we got back, Tomer vanished. He left his cot. No signs of struggle. No footprints. His gear untouched. Just gone. The only clue was a single word scratched into his pillowcase in Hebrew. Alamat. I didn't know what it meant. I asked Yaron. He turned pale. Whispered, worlds. Then left the room. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that pit. That room full of whispering candles. The man strapped to the chair. The walls bleeding. And the sound, one must stay, one must stay. I was losing my mind. I tried to call my sister, just to hear a normal voice. But the moment she picked up, all I could hear was static and something breathing on the line. I hung up. I couldn't eat. Couldn't focus. Even in broad daylight, I felt watched. Then, it started again. The whispering. At first, I thought it was stress. Trauma. My own brain trying to cope. But no, this wasn't inside my head. It was coming from the walls. My room. My locker. Even my goddamn toothbrush. I'd hear it in the hum of lights, in the buzz of the fan. One must stay, one must feed. I confronted Yaron the next day. What the hell did we bring back? I snapped. He looked older than I remembered. His beard had gone patchy. His hands trembled. We didn't bring it, he said. It followed us. Why us? I asked. He didn't answer. Just pulled a folded piece of paper from his pocket and handed it to me. It was a list. Handwritten. My name. Tomer's name. Then Eli. Yaron. All with dates beside them. Only 2 names hadn't been crossed off. And Yaron's. That night, Yaron was found dead in the showers. Not stabbed. Not shot. But hollowed out. His skin was intact. But inside, he was gone. No blood. No organs. Just empty. Like something had drained him. No one could explain it. Medical called it a rare collapse. Bullshit. I packed my things and left the base. Discharged myself. Went off-grid. Moved to a quiet village in Cyprus under a fake name. Rented a small cabin far from the city. No signal. No internet. Just me. And silence. For 2 weeks, it worked. No whispers. No shadows. No dreams. But then, I found a radio in my kitchen one morning. Covered in ash. I didn't buy it. Didn't bring it in. And when I turned it on, static. Then a voice. You ran. I threw it outside. Smashed it. That night, I found a note under my pillow. One must stay. I tried to leave. Booked a flight. Called a cab. The driver never arrived. Instead, a figure stood at the gate. Motionless. Watching. I shut the door. Locked every bolt. But when I turned around, there were candles lit in the hallway. A trail of them leading to the basement. I don't have a basement. I never did. I grabbed a knife. Walked toward it. Each step heavier. At the bottom was a door. Steel. Sealed tight. Just like before. And on it, written in blood. The seal is broken. I turned and ran back up. But the stares didn't end. I ran for minutes. Hours? Time bent in that space. I don't remember how long it took, but when I finally made it back to my cabin, everything was gone. Burned. I stood alone in the ruins. And I heard it. From beneath the ground. A deep breath. Like the earth itself was exhaling. Like something enormous had just woken up. I don't know how I survived that night, but I've been running ever since. Everywhere I go, the same signs appear. Whispers in the radio. Names on the wall. Blood where there shouldn't be. I tried burning the papers. Deleting the files. It doesn't help. It knows my name. It knows yours now too. So if your lights flicker tonight, if your phone rings and no one's there, if you hear voices in the silence, don't answer, don't follow. And whatever you do, don't stay. And just like that, it was over. But if you're still here, if you're still breathing, then maybe the nightmare hasn't ended. Maybe it just found a new home. If this story chilled your spine, then you're exactly who we're looking for. We bring you true horror, dark web confessions, and military secrets they never wanted you to hear. Every week. So hit that subscribe button, because in the shadows of war and the depths of the dark web, there's always one more story. And you? You want to hear it? Before it finds you. This is Athex Tales. See you in the next nightmare.